Beyond the Golden Gate Bridge awaits glorious Marin County, home to sweeping vistas, diverse cultures, and inspiring causes. Join us for Marinterviews, profiling people and projects, creating a meaningful impact in our community. Hi there, welcome back to Marinterviews, where we showcase people and projects making a difference in Marin County. I'm Sandra Riley Grimshaw, and I am just besides myself that Letitia Hanke is joining me today. Total multi-hyphenate, business owner, and also creator of the Lime Foundation. So first off, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you. I'm really happy to be here as well.
So let's start where you'd like to, the origin story of you in business, and then how the Lime Foundation grew from your initial inspiration, and just tell us all about Letitia.
Wow. Where do I start?
I know. That's why we take our time.
Well, number one, I'm a roofing contractor, so let's start with that. I got started in roofing because like most young people, I was going to go to college, and my parents were like, you're going to college right out of high school. And I'm like, okay, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just was like, okay, I'll just go to college. So I went to Sonoma State University and I majored in music and performing arts.
Oh my goodness.
And thought I would have this amazing career in the music. And I had a great time in college in music, but I wasn't making enough money to survive college. I was putting myself through college I was broke.
The arts.
Yes.
Always take a hit.
I'm a musician, so but it just wasn't paying the bills.
Yeah.
So in my junior year of college, I decided to look for a real job, and found this article about and to interview for a receptionist at a roofing company. And I've been doing some receptionist work at Sonoma State, so I'm like, sure, why not? It sounds like a good paying job. When interviewed and ended up getting the job. And I worked there for about a year as the receptionist until about my senior year in college. And in my senior year in college, my boss, fired the office manager he had.
Oh my goodness.
And asked me if I wanted to take over the position. And it was a very exciting opportunity for me because now I had a chance to kind of run this roofing company at a really young age. And so I accepted the offer and started running this roofing company. I did end up dropping out of college in my senior year because I'm now running this, $1 million at that time roofing company.
Right.
So I'm making really good money. I'm in my early 20s.
Wow.
And I'm moving up in the company. I moved up to manager after about 3 years, another 3 years with the company. And then that's when my boss came to me and said, hey, I want to retire from roofing and I want you to buy my roofing company.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm just like, I'm not a roofer. What do you mean? And he asked me.
Well, he saw some confidence in you.
It was great because I was growing the company and the company was growing more and more. I was really loving what I did, but I was not a roofer at the time. I knew how to run a roofing company, but I was not a roofer.
Right.
And he asked, are you willing to learn?
Oh, wow.
And I said, sure. I mean, when you're in your 20s, you're like, sure, I'll try anything.
Yes, but you said yes.
Yeah.
I am finding with some young people that is a skill they don't have yet, and they may hesitate or they may not be sure. You weren't sure, but you said yes. And that is, I bet.
I said yes, but I had a really fun mentor that I came and spoke to her. She runs a property management company in Marin, Melissa Prandy. And I sat down with her and we sat down. And I said, okay, Melissa, I have this opportunity to be a roofer and start my own roofing company. Do you think I should do this? What is it like for you in like a male dominated field, because I was, scared to be in this male dominated field.
Oh, absolutely.
Not only as a woman, but also a woman of color. It just was a scary thing. He's just like, what have you got to lose? And I'm just like, oh yeah, what do I have to lose at that point? And so I went ahead and took another few years. I learned how to roof with my boss. And once I learned
literally on the ladders with the gear.
With the gear.
Oh my gosh.
Which is not really rocket science, once you learn the process.
There are skills. There are skills to learn.
My dad is a pipe fitters in the unit. Well, he's retired now. So I grew up in construction. I grew up with that. I grew up in the country, I climbing trees with my brother. And I mean, those are things that I, enjoyed.
You're comfortable with.
Yeah, I was comfortable with it. So it wasn't a big deal for me. So I did it, and then he retired, and I actually got a small business loan to buy the assets of his company, and then
Oh,
I went and
okay.
got my own contractor's license and started my own company in 2004.
Oh my gosh. So
That's
you've
how it
been
happened.
doing this for
Yeah,
20 odd
20.
years.
Yeah, I've been the CEO now for 20 years. Yeah, I
That
just
is
celebrated 20 years.
amazing. Now, as a woman of color, have you run into certain, uh, are people a bit surprised when they meet you sometimes?
Oh yeah. I mean, I've had just about everything. I mean, I've had people that were so excited and they want to support a woman-owned business, they want to support a black-owned business, but then I've had people that wouldn't shake my hand when they would open the door.
Right.
I've had people, decide to cancel the contracts once they found out, it just I've had a little bit of everything. I've mainly experienced sexism more than racism
Oh, yeah.
because just
That's true.
yeah,
Woman
being a
owned.
female
Yeah.
and woman owned, and especially in roofing, there's not a lot of women in roofing, and there's a lot more now. But
Yeah.
back in my day,
Yeah.
because I'm up there,
Yeah.
there weren't a lot of women, and I didn't have a lot of mentors that were actually in my industry to help me through those terrible times that I was having when I
Right.
would have people. So
The
I just
struggle would
persevered.
be, yeah, you've got to
Yeah.
persevere. Absolutely. Well, and on that note, you've also started a foundation. Can you give us the whole background on the Lime Foundation?
I did. I started the Foundation, and it really stems from my childhood growing up in Lake County, which is a very small town.
Right.
There weren't very many black kids in my town.
Right.
And so I was bullied as a kid
Oh, I
from
bet.
about 5 years old until about when I was about 9. And I was called everything you could think of. But most of all, kids would tell me that I would never amount to anything because I'm black.
Mm,
And
that is just an
as a
awful
yeah,
take
yeah, it is, but
in
as a
your
little
head.
kid you start believing it. I
Yeah.
hated the color of my skin. It was a really rough time, but it was music that helped me. I had a music teacher that came to me, put a trumpet in my hands, and she taught me how to play the trumpet every day during her lunch break so that way I wouldn't get bullied on the playground. And I just fell in love with music, and I
Good.
fell in love with just how it made me feel.
Oh, yeah. And it's an
And I started
expression.
Lime Foundation because I really wanted to have a music program for kids that have gone through bullying and just have that self hatred, and that way they would have something really positive to be able to kind of throw themselves into. So recording arts and performing arts is the reason why I started the program,
Hmm.
to help them. And then it just turned into a much bigger picture because I started realizing there were a lot more youth that needed opportunities in life.
So to
And
learn more skills if they
correct, more
weren't going to
skills.
maybe going to, maybe the college wasn't
Correct.
their path.
I started recognizing that pretty quickly
Yeah.
because there a lot of youth, you hear about them dropping out of high school, and we're like, well, why are they dropping out of high school? Because they're scared. They don't know what their next steps are.
Yeah.
Sometimes parents are kind of and society are pushing kids to go to college, but not every child or kid wants to go to college or can go to college.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I'm like, well, how do we create another pathway for them?
Hmm.
Hey, the kids that want to go to college, great, let's support them to go to college. But the kids that want to explore other opportunities, let's create something for them. And I got together with a bunch of my contractors. We were just at our regular lunch we meet every month. And we sat down. I'm like, hey, you guys, what's the one thing that we all have the same issue with, And all of us said, we can't find any young people that want to go into the
Skilled
industry.
workers. Oh
And
my
these were
goodness.
electricians,
Yeah,
general
yeah.
contractors, plumbers, and roofing. We're like, how do we find these kids? And I asked them, I said, well, if I started a program that
Hmm.
trained young people, would you guys be willing to be mentors? But are you also willing to hire them? And all of them said yes.
That's
And there were
terrific.
11 of us at that time, and today there's 198 of
Oh my
contractors that are
gosh.
part of the program.
That is
They mentor, they come and speak to the students in our program, and they hire them as well, full time, right out of our Next Gen Trades Academy, and that's the name of our program,
next gen.
Next Gen Trades Academy.
All right.
Yes,
So, and you are, I think I already know this, but do you know of Charlie
I
Goodman?
do.
Oh my gosh. And he, Justin helped me before on we covered his CAP program, and it's the same. And then now there's,
Yes,
but these kids having options
yes,
is just
yes.
fabulous. And it's fabulous for the communities.
And I really have an emphasis on our at risk youth, our underserved youth, marginalized youth, because a lot of these opportunities they're not talked about in their families. They're not hearing that they can be in these type of industries. And, and young women for me as well, because, no one ever talks about a young woman going to be a roofer. It's just
Right.
not something that's really discussed in high school. It's not discussed in our families. And so we really cater to, those youth, especially because we want to show them that you can walk right into an industry where you're making 25 $34 an hour
Yeah.
and having this great career. And we've had a few of our youth be able to start their own businesses and get their own contractor's licenses after taking our courses. So it's just been really great to just see the growth and what they've been able to do in their lives.
And so Lime has been around how long?
9 years.
So you must, but can you think back to 9 years ago and a couple inspiring stories that you've seen from concept to completion?
Yeah, my favorite is we started the program in 2017. That was the first class that we were able to do. And there was a young man, his name is Marcus Hernandez. I love this kid. And he says, I want to be a carpenter. First day of class, I want to be a carpenter one day and be a general contractor. He was 17 years old.
Oh my gosh.
He comes from a single mom who raised 4 kids on her own. And he just was like, this is what I want to do. And I want to help my family. And I said, great. He took our class. He was at the top of our class. We got him a job at 17. He was still in high school. And for the summer, he worked with a general contractor. And then he came back, finished his senior year. And then he went right back and started working with that general contractor right out of high school.
Wow.
So he worked with him for about 5 more years. And then he went and got his contractor's license last year. And now he is a licensed contractor. And he just hired from the NEXTGEN Trades Academy, his first employee.
That is
so I've gone
terrific.
full circle
That is
with my vision of creating this type of program. That way we can always have a workforce to hire from.
Which is so important. Did you see any kind of a slowdown during the pandemic?
No, it was even bigger for us because what ended up happening, we had the class was in-person class at first before the pandemic. And then when we all kind of had to go on Zoom, we redeveloped the program into a Zoom class.
Okay.
So we ended up being able to reach a lot more students. That's how we actually expanded into Marin County, is because we started in Sonoma County.
In Sonoma County, yeah.
And we were able to expand to Marin because of that reason. We were able to reach a lot more of our youth that way. So we ended up doing more and more classes during that time. Now, Zoom was hard for everybody, right?
Oh my
to
gosh.
go into.
Oh my gosh. Absolutely.
And now we've been able to do Zoom and in person. We do it as a hybrid and also in person. But it actually ended up giving us a chance to be able to have more and more classes and reach a bigger audience of youth.
So do you work primarily with the school districts or teen clubs? How do you get the word out about?
So we do work with local high schools,
Okay.
But we also work with other nonprofits. So there are other nonprofits like the Conservation Corps of the North Bay. They have youth that are between 18 and 24. So our group is we service 16 to 24. That's the age group that we service.
All right.
So the high schoolers between 16 and 18, they're juniors and seniors trying to figure out what they want to do in life, right? So we're giving them that guidance of, hey, look into being an architect. We could tell you how to do that without going to college.
Right.
And then we have the 18 and 24 youth that have maybe worked, had a career, gone to college, dropped out of college, maybe graduated from college, and still don't know what they want to do in life.
That's such a tough age group.
I know, and I know, but we have options for them. So that's who we're servicing. So we connect with a lot of nonprofits that are in the area that just want to have an extra program for the youth that they're servicing.
Good. Well, we hope to spread the word here in Marin too. Help
That's
you
wonderful.
do that. So tell me about your gala you just had. Is that your one event a year, or do you have a couple events?
We do several smaller events, but this is our big event that we do every year, a big gala. It's called Believe in the Dream. So we just had our 9th annual.
Wow.
Which was just great. We had almost 400 people attend this year, and we had a goal of reaching 350,000. We've made it to 321,000. So
Nice.
we're almost at our
Yeah.
goal. And that's for the expansion of our program, to continue with our expansion so we can reach more high schools here in Marin. We're only working with a couple high schools, and we want to work with several more. So we wanted to make sure that we can continue our expansion and then eventually go into the Bay Area. So so that was great. We had performers Paula Cole, the artist from the 90s.
Oh,
She's,
wow.
she was there performing performing
Oh,
for us. We did a
nice.
beautiful segment on women in construction, and she wanted to come. She had this song called "Strong Beautiful Woman,"
Oh,
and she
nice.
performed it live for us. And there was just so many great things that happened at the event, and people just came out to support us.
Oh, that is huge. That is wonderful. And then the next event then will
It's our
be,
Lime Day. So we do an event like it's our community project that we do every year for Lime Day, and it's a food drive that we do. So a lot of our
oh, great.
84% actually of all of our next gen graduates, they're low income. So
Yeah.
we want to help them and their families this time of year. So we do a food drive where we collect canned goods, and so the whole community they collect canned goods, and then on that day, on Lime Day, December 14th, we get together, put all the food boxes together,
Oh,
and then we
nice.
deliver them to all of the graduates. And so it's something that we do every single year, and it's been really great to help them out in a time of need.
Is that something that you do? Are you able to coordinate that with the Boy Scouts, or do you do your own separate, food drive? God, you don't see food drives as much anymore. Good for you.
Yeah, it's we really service our youth that we're working
Okay.
with. So the youth that we work with for that year specifically, we contact them, find out what their needs are, and then the whole community just comes together and gathers all the food for us. And then that the day of, we get all the fresh food and things like that as well, and then we deliver it out to those needy families.
Oh, that's wonderful. And and so, have you heard from some of the mentors, some of how they've felt, you know, satisfied doing this? I mean, I almost feel, and I think you and I have talked about this before. It's almost it's not about us giving; it's what we receive from helping.
Yeah, the mentors, I love hearing their stories. I mean, I've had mentors go into the program talking to these students about their stories,
Right.
and a lot of their stories are similar to these youth. They've experienced trauma or abuse, or were in and out of, juvenile hall, and they've completely changed their lives around. And I've seen mentors, just like start crying and as they're telling stories because it's their first time ever telling their stories, in public, and they're telling to these kids that, are there like taking it all in and realizing, hey, if I can do it, then you can do it too.
Right.
And I think that's probably the most powerful part of the program is when our mentors get to come in and talk to these kids about, I didn't know what direction I wanted to go into as well, but I had someone come, and
Right.
help me through it too. And that's what we do at NextGen. We're just there to introduce these great opportunities to them. And
Well,
it's
it's
not
also,
just about construction.
yeah,
I have to say, it's life skills too.
right.
Financial literacy. Like
Oh,
I didn't know
that's
about when I was in
right.
college, I got that American Express card that came when I was 18 and
Yeah.
I went shopping,
Yeah.
right? And I got myself into debt
Yeah.
at such a young age. So we knew that we need to make sure we were including, financial literacy. So we have local companies, they come in and talk to these kids about having good credit
Oh, that is
and
wonderful.
how they can, save money and put money away. We talk about that cup of coffee that,
Yeah.
2 or 3 cups of coffee they go and buy every single day. And that's $4 or $5, for every cup
Adds up every
and how that
month.
adds up.
Yeah.
And they show them like, this is what you can have. That $10,000 a year that you're spending on coffee could be going towards this.
Yeah.
So that's what we're teaching them, right? And then we include real estate.
Oh,
Yes,
terrific.
real estate, because we want young people to know how they can be homeowners and become homeowners.
Because all they hear is it's good luck.
Yeah.
It's the news
Right.
is so bad. And these kids, I mean, adults, we feel the same way. It's just to take it and make a positive spin on you can be prepared. And this is how you can,
This is how you can do. Here are
that's,
the steps of how
yeah.
you can do it. You can partner with family members. You can partner with friends and buy, a 2-bedroom apartment and rent out the apartment. And we've had young people that
Yeah.
have done it before they were even 20 years old.
Wow.
They've made purchases of homes. So we're like, okay, we know it's possible. We give them the examples. We bring in those students to tell them how they did it. And now in their brains, they're like, wait a second, if they can do it, I can do it too.
Yeah.
That's all we're trying to do is just change their mindset.
Yeah. Well,
And
mindset is so
yeah,
important.
instead of being like, oh, I'll never be able to do it because of this. No, that's not true. You
Yeah.
can do it, and here are the steps to be able to do that.
God, that's
So
got to be
we're-
fulfilling.
Oh,
for
it
you.
is. Oh my goodness, it is.
Even though your calendar is as busy as it is.
It's crazy.
I mean,
but
you and I have been working
always-
on this for 6 months. So,
I always take time for my students, and
Yeah.
I love when I get those phone calls from them. I just got that job at blah blah blah, or
Uh,
we just bought a house. I just bought my first car. I mean, all those little things are big things,
yeah.
especially when I know that the guidance that they got from us helped them do that. It's so
Uh,
rewarding for me every single day. Every
abs-
day I wake up just excited because I know that I've made this kind of difference in
yeah.
their lives.
Yeah.
But I remember that teacher doing that for me,
Yeah.
and that's the thing that that's what drives me, is knowing how that feeling was for me when I had someone kind of come to my rescue. So
Do you rescued yourself? Do you stay in touch with a few of your mentors?
oh my gosh, yes. Well,
Good.
Melissa on a regular
Oh my
basis.
God, Melissa.
But
She's a
but I
friend of the show.
and I also do. I have contractors that I
Good.
also met with. But yes, my mentors are really important to me. I have a really great business coach that I talk to regularly as well, to just make sure that I'm pushing forward and making sure that I'm achieving the goals that I want to achieve.
So again, as it is a foundation, you are open to donations, and people can go online. We'll have our information up. They could go online and donate to your cause and find out more about it. So there's the Lime Foundation. Well, there's your roofing company, which is what is the name
It's
of?
ARS Roofing and Gutters,
And then the Lime Foundation, and then the
Next Gen Trades Academy.
Next Gen. That
Next
is,
Gen.
and is that a foundation also?
That's our program.
That's
That's
the
Lime
program
Foundation. Is
within.
yes,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah, that's the name of our program.
Was there any information we missed, or do you think? I think this has just been a really informative interview, and I'm so delighted to have you here.
We have so many different opportunities for people to support. They can be
Good.
volunteers because we have events and things that we do. They can, if they know contractors that they want to introduce
Okay.
to us, that's always a great thing, because we always need a flow of contractors on a regular basis for hiring, but also just being mentors. And as far as donating, you could sponsor a whole cohort. So we usually do a cohort of 15 to 20 students every class.
That's right.
So you could be
Okay.
a sponsor for that, or you could sponsor individual students through the program, and that way the program remains free for the student. We don't.
Right.
I don't ever want to get to the point where they have to pay for it. I want to make sure that this is a service that they can get for free, and so we do rely on our donors to make sure that we can always do that. We have a lot of contractors that donate to us as well regularly. They set up a payment plan where they just pay every month, so
That's
that way they're constantly making sure that there's donations coming through. So there's so many different ways, and we do have them listed on our
and the
website.
contractors are seeing results,
Yes.
which
Yeah,
is
yes.
huge.
It's a big benefit for them, of course, but we're a 501(c)(3), so
Yeah.
there's it's a great way to contribute and give back to the community in so many different ways. Every re-roof that I do, I donate up to 5% of every re-roof of my not my net profit. So it doesn't matter whether I'm doing a little repair or a big giant re-roof. I make sure that I'm always committing myself to giving away as part of my net
So
profit.
when your team goes out and bids, they let people know. Oh, by the way, this is how we.
It's on
That's
it's on
great.
every contract that goes out. We send out all that information, letting them know that you're getting your roof done, but it's actually going to a much bigger cause.
Oh, that's terrific. You're such an inspiration. You
Oh,
just,
thank you.
you've been so encouraging, and I'm just so glad we had this time.
Thank
I
you so
appreciate
much.
it.
It's been great.
Well, that wraps up this segment, and please don't hesitate to contact me if you know another worthy cause in Marin that really needs to have a little light shine on them, and we'll see you soon. Thanks.
Marinterviews, produced in partnership with Marin Arts, Marin Link, Truce, and D2ISF. Please join us on our mission. Nominate a person or program to be profiled either in studio, location, or Zoom. Sponsor a segment. We look forward to working with you.